So we got distribution announcements for Group 2 of YieldMax, along with a few on RoundHill and Defiance. So we'll go over those, and also we'll take a look at the nice move again on Bitcoin, which did move MSTY up once again. Hello my friends, this is Legend. So today we're going to take a look at those distribution announcements that came out today on YieldMax, and I have a few also to announce for RoundHill and Defiance. So we'll go over those, and then we'll end the video off taking a look at Bitcoin, MSTY, and MSTR, just to see how much it went up today. So this is for Group 2 on the YieldMax ETFs distribution announcement that is for December the 3rd with an X date of December 4th and a pay date of December 5th. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right on into this. And as you can see, AMDY with 42 cents, AIYY with 37 cents, AMDY with 15 cents, and that's 101% distribution rate, along with AIYY with 101% distribution rate. AMDY with 19 cents, PLTY with 11 cents, BIGY with 23 cents, BRKC 26 cents, and CONY with $1.13. Now remember, CONY did go through a reverse split, so we were expecting that distribution to increase due to the reverse split, as that did increase the price times 10, but decrease the number of shares by 10 as well. But with CONY at $1.13 at 126% distribution rate, I'll take it. CRCO with 60 cents, and that's 125% distribution rate. Crash, 33 cents. CVNY, 88 cents with 125% distribution rate. Dips, 75 cents at a 71% distribution rate. And that's the short on NVDY. DISO, 14 cents. DRE with 67 cents, and that's 108% distribution rate. FBY, 25 cents for 100% distribution rate. FIET, 39 cents. GDXY, 31 cents, and that's 100% distribution rate. GEMEY with $1.01 for 125% distribution rate. GUI, 25 cents. HIYY with 67 cents, and that's 125% distribution rate. And we got HUI with $1.32 for 125% distribution rate. I'll take it. JPMO with 19 cents. MARO with 24 cents at 125% distribution rate. MARNI, 27 cents at 101% distribution rate. MSFO with 17 cents. MSTY with 13 cents, and that's 100% distribution rate. Now, MSTY will be going through a reverse split come Monday, and that will be a 1 for 5. So you'll get 1 share for every 5 shares you have. NEFLY, 17 cents. NVDY with 16 cents. OARC, 63 cents. PLTY with $1.30, and that's 125% distribution rate. Nice. PYPY with 12 cents. RBLY, 70 cents, and that's 106% distribution rate. RDYY with 96 cents, and that's 125% distribution rate. SMCY with 21 cents with 119% distribution rate. Snowy, 27 cents, and that's a 97% distribution rate. Tesla, 93 cents with 125% distribution rate. TSMY, 24 cents. Winter with 64 cents at a 91% distribution rate. Zomo with 4 cents. XYZY, 68 cents, and that's 107% distribution rate. YBIT, 69 cents at a 100% distribution rate. and YQQQ for 5 cents. And that wraps up all of Group 2 for YieldMax. So let's go ahead and check out the ones for Defiance. Now for the Defiance ones that I have the announcement sheet for, has an X date of 12/4 and a payable date of December 5th. And the first one will be GLDY with 15 cents, IWMY with 15 cents, QQQY with 16 cents, USOY with 5 cents, and WDTE with 18 cents. And that will wrap up the ones that I have for an announcement sheet on Defiance funds. So now let's just go ahead and check out the ones for RoundHill. And for RoundHill, these have an X date of December 4th with a pay date of December 5th as well. And we'll just start right off with XDTE for 31 cents, QDTE with 38 cents, RDTE with 23 cents. And that wraps up all of the ETF distribution announcements that I have. Now let's just go ahead and go check out Bitcoin, Mr. and Misty, and let's see where they're at today. And here we are on Bitcoin, and as you can see, yesterday was that big move up. That was a huge move up. Then today we had another nice little move up. Looks like it hit about that 93, and that's that red line that we had drawn in there. Looks like yesterday it came up, hit that 93, and just got rejected a little bit at the opening of today. As you can see, it did come all the way down. That's that wick that's being pulled down here. So it came all the way down, and it got as low as about 91.8 before moving back up and then breaking past that 93.4 and now sitting at about 93.8. It got as high today as about 94.1. So if this one does close somewhere in this area, then we have confirmed this breakout of that 88.8, and that will now be our new support line again. If it can close out above this red line, and then tomorrow it can stay above that red line, including the wicks, then we might call this 93.4K our support line. But we'll see what tomorrow brings. Currently, we're just above it. So tomorrow we might end up dipping down into that area just below that 93.4. But I'm hoping that we've got a nice little move up. And since we did end up breaking this 93.4, I'm hoping that we can move on back up and start getting back to this 98 and possibly even testing this 100. You can see that the momentum here is increasing. We have the MACD is turned up. So we got a nice little turn up on that MACD. And the RSI 14 is sitting at 49.98. So we're definitely not overbought and we're definitely not oversold, right? So we are pretty much sitting right there in the middle. So we've got plenty more room to move up, and I would love to see it move on up. And because Bitcoin did move up today, that caused Mr. to move on up. And here we are on Mr. and we're looking at the day chart, right? And as you can see, this is that line that we were talking about where yesterday we did break past it, but then came back down and closed right there on that line. So this line was still being a bit of a resistance line. Then today, what did we do? We opened above it, but we did drop down below it, but then moved right back up and ended up closing today at this 188.39. So this is not yet a confirmed breakout at this 181.4, but it's at least moving in the right direction. So if tomorrow can open, close, and stay above that 181.4, wicks and all, then this can possibly be our new support line. And this would be at that 181.4. But it's all really determined on how Bitcoin does. Is Bitcoin going to stay above this 93.4, or are we going to dip back down below that 93.4? If we do dip down below that 93.4, then you can pretty much expect Mr. to also probably drop back below this 181. But currently we are on a nice little move up, and it did move up 3.8% today. Now with Mr. moving up 3.8, what did MSTY do? Well, MSTY moved up 2.94%. Love it, right? We needed that move up. And don't forget, MSTY is paying out that 13 cents according to their distribution announcement. So that 13 cents is going to come out of the price. So that's going to end up taking it down to somewhere around $7.13. Now, of course, there can be movements after hours, pre-market, that could cause it to open higher or lower tomorrow, above or below that 713. But that 13 cents will be coming out of that MSTY price. But to keep MSTY moving on up, we need Mr. to continue to move on up. And if Mr. can continue to move on up, then MSTY will, and they both will if Bitcoin can continue to move on up. And that's why this 93.4 is a bit of an important line for us. We need it to open, close with wicks and all above that 93.4 so that we can confirm this as a breakout below that 93.4 and then hopefully start moving right back up to 98. And that would be a wonderful thing. And just for a quick little overview of where I'm setting on my ETFs that I own, as you can see, I'm still down on CONY, ULTY, and SMCY, and I have not entered those distributions yet. I will not enter them in until this weekend, and then that will adjust my real price per share, and we'll see where I set at that point. But because CONY did move up today, that actually helped reduce that loss if I were to sell all of my shares. Of course, I'm not going to, but just as an FYI, CONY currently, if I were to sell all my shares, I'll lose $552 out of my total capital spent of $5,141. But PLTY, I'm going to make $1,800 if I were to sell all my shares. NVDY, I would make $117. ULTY, I would lose $102 out of $1,600. MSTY, I will make $3,700. SMCY, I would lose $50 out of $822. AMDY will be going through a reverse split as well. I'm not sure if I said that while we were going through the announcements, but they also will be doing a reverse split just the same as MSTY, and that will be this Monday. But currently, I am up in AMDY. And once we go through that reverse split, that will not change just because of that reverse split, as the total invested amount will not change for me, because reverse splits do not change the actual capital that you have invested and the market value of that ETF, because you're dividing the shares by 10 and multiplying the price by 10. And if it's a 1 for 5, you're dividing the shares by 5 and multiplying the share price by 5. So therefore, the total value of that position would be the same. But I'll just scroll over and you can see all of my positions of where I'm at. And if it's green down here, that means that if I were to sell my shares, I would make money. And this row 20 right here, that's how much I would make if I were to sell all my shares at the current price. And you can see it's 900, 1800, 180, 1100, 2000, 1500, 2400, and 2600. And if I scroll over to the end, I would make a total of about $17,832 if I were to sell out of all of those ETFs at the current price. And that is how much I would clear. It is not this amount plus my distributions. This is after taking out what I've spent. This is what I would make off of all of my positions. And that is what my sheet here can give you. That's just some of the information it does provide. And the one that I care about the most, of course, is my real price per share here, because this actually will tell you where you are at in your position of that ETF. Because if it's green, you're good if you were to sell out. If it's red, that means you're going to lose if you were to sell out. And it would also tell you in this row how much you would make or how much you would lose if you were to sell. And once I do get this updated, it'll also carry this real price per share calculator so that you can punch this in to see if you were to buy shares at a certain price and a number of shares, how much that would cost you, and what your new real price per share would be if you were to do so. And you would just pick the one that you have. It will change according to the ETFs that you have in your account and the ones that you are showing here. All of this on this drop down will adjust to the ones that you enter. So if you'd like to get a copy of this spreadsheet, come on over, join the Discord where you can get your copy, and it'll be a blank copy so that you can enter in all of your buys and sells of each ETF that you have, just like we're showing right here, so that you can calculate what your real price per share is, as that, to me, is the most important part of knowing where you're actually at in your position of that ticker symbol. So come on over, join the Discord. Link is in the pinned comments and in the description below. We'd love to have you. And there's also a channel within the Discord where you can ask questions or suggest ideas for adding things to the stock tracker sheet that you may like to see in there. I'll take a look at those and see if I can add it in. And I appreciate everybody in the Discord who has already provided several great ideas as I am working to add those in to this spreadsheet for the next revision. So stay tuned for the new revision once I am able to update this and get that out to everybody. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. It would be much appreciated. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, Legend out.